Hi everyone, it's Alan here again. Today I'm installing the heated grips for the Triumph Trident 660. It's a bit of a weird time of the year to be doing this since we're going into summer now, but we're still having some cold mornings. I actually bought this about 2 months ago before, when we went on a ride up the mountain. It was quite cold and I said to Karen, would you like some heated grips now? And she said yes. So I bought them and then we went on holiday for a little while, and we only got back like a week ago. So actually 2 weeks ago now. So I'm finally getting around to installing them. So anyway, I'll video this and let's see how we go. Okay, I thought I'd show what comes in the box. So first of all, you've got the left hand handle grip. This is the one with the switch on it. So this switch goes over this side, and then this is the back piece. It looks like these two screws and washers go in there and that side. These two will replace the screws on the bar end. Not sure why you'd want to do that. These are just cable ties here. This is the right hand side, and then this is the main wiring harness. This one plugs into an accessory port in the bike. We've got to take the fuel tank off for that, and then these plug into the left and the right handlebar. Inside the handlebar you can actually see the wiring. I'll take it out later, but the wiring is tucked in that side, and then that side for each of the bars. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take the seat off, and then we will disconnect the power. Then we will be taking the tank off, because the power is, I can't remember if it's in this side or the other side, but we'll make sure we take the right side off. We've got to take the fuel tank off anyway, which will mean removing this piece here. And then we'll be threading the wiring loom up through, same hole that the clutch goes up through, but I'll just double, oh yes, it is that one there. So you've got to slide the clutch cable to the side to get the cables, the left and the right hand side of parts of the cable for the bars up through there one by one. Okay, I'll get to that in a sec. Okay, so taking the seat off is straightforward. Just put the key in the slot on the side here, keyhole on the side, hold the back, pull towards you, and that's it. Okay, so here, this is the battery underneath the seat, so we've got to disconnect the negative first and then the positive. Okay, so I just use a little short screwdriver. It's a Phillips style. Just take that and keep the screw aside. Just take them off to the side and keep the screws in a place where you'll remember to find them. Little bolts. Okay, the next thing we need to do is take the tank off. So to do that, there's a screw here, there's a screw underneath here, and there's another one on the other side, and then underneath this covering here, I think I've heard you just pop this off. There's another two over there. So they're 5 altogether. I've also heard that this one here is slightly longer than the others, so just make sure you don't get those mixed up when you take them off. Okay, so let's get going. We'll take this one off first. Just clipping my camera back on. Okay. So this one first. It was not tight at all. I guess, as I mentioned, this one is supposed to be slightly longer than the others. So just have to remember that. put all those together. So then I was told that you don't need to take this whole panel off here, because if you want to take it off, you've got to actually take the battery out to get to some bolts underneath here. So it sounds like it might be okay just to undo these on both sides. So there's a nut on the sides here as well, so don't lose that inside the bike. Something I'm famous for doing. Just put it back on there and put that aside. And then same with this side. They're coming off easy enough. I don't know if they should. I think I'm going to be putting these back on with Loctite. It doesn't look like it's had Loctite on before, but I just make it a habit of putting Loctite on whenever I put any bolts back together again. Okay, so that's those. Now you are supposed to be able to just pop this panel. Oh, there we go. It's easy enough, and that should be good enough. If you can see that there's a bolt in there, and there'll be one. I'll just move the camera in so you can see that bolt on that side there. So we'll need to take that one out, and now apparently this piece just pops off. Oh, there we go. So we'll put that aside, and now we should be able to see the other two bolts, and that's them over there. And apparently we can get those out with the same size. Oh, how do we get in there? Okay. Yeah. So I've got to do it with the fingers now. Okay, and give ourselves some space on this side as well to do this side. Okay, then that's 4 of the 5 bolts. No, that's 5 bolts. Sorry, one. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, we've got this one. Sorry, we have not loosened these ones yet. So let's do that. So we've done 5 of the 7. So that was the 6 one, and then the side will be the 7th one. Try not to drop the bolts in the bike. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so we've got all of them out now. And as they said, so the 6 of them are the same size, and then there's the slightly bigger one. Okay, so now we've got all the bolts off that we need. So again, sorry, I haven't explained this piece here is not the actual tank. This is a covering over the tank. So we're not taking the tank off, we're just taking the cover off to get to the port on the bike where, or the accessory port where this wiring harness plugs in. So now the next stage, apparently there's just a bit of fiddling and shifting you need to do. You're supposed to pull this part up and then backwards. Way easier than what I've seen another person do. That was way easier. Okay, now the next thing is to find where the wiring harness connects in. So just excuse me while I look up where that's supposed to be. Okay, so this will show you why we had to take the tank cover off, and that's because if you zoom in from this side of the bike where the brake is, the throttle is, you'll see zooming in here, there's this little plastic bit here, then you've got this section here. This is like a little plug that's holding the actual plug with a blanking plate in on the rear, and this is actually, we've got to take these blanks off here of this wiring harness, and this is where we'll plug our wiring harness into. So I will need to see whether I need to unclip it here first before I can get the blanking plug thing out, but let me have a look at that now. Okay, it was not that difficult to unplug. Basically, you just got to squeeze these bits together and push it through here, and then you can actually get this plug out. Okay, so the way to do this was not to try and push down there, but to push down on the outside and then just with a small screwdriver then push it forward, and then it comes out. But that was a lot harder than I thought. So this is the piece that comes out, the blanking plate, and then basically the end of this new wiring loom it plugs straight into there. But what I'm going to do is wire it up through to the handlebars first before we plug it in there. What we will do is to take the current handlebars off. You see Corin's had a bit of a spill here. It was a time ago. She's quite proficient now and has her full license. So these are the screws you can throw away if you want to. You get the new ones with the Loctite on them already. So I'll just put that off to the side, and then we will do the other side. Oops. Some screws. Oh, there they are. So there's the screw underneath there, and there'll be one on the other side that we've got to take off. So they provide new screws in the kit for this. Can you just loosen underneath here as well? Whew, it's hot. Dripping with sweat. Let's see. It's not coming off yet. Okay, there we go. Bolts are out. One washer went flying. Thank goodness they give you other ones. So Yeah, that's the one that comes off. You can see the holes where it bolts into again. And what I'll do is show so you can see there's a hole in underneath there where the new wiring, the grip comes through. Not sure if you can see underneath there, there's a hole underneath the middle of the bar for the wires to go in and then be fed along through underneath till there. But before we do that, let's get the other side off as well. So what do we need to do? Oh yes, on this side it's this we've got to loosen here. Let's make sure we can see that. So take the camera off there. So basically this bolt and the one on the other side have got to come out in order to loosen this handle. So let's get to that. On this side, so it's not that one, it's actually this one here. Oh crap. Okay, and use our Phillips screwdriver again, and we're going to undo here and on the other side. Gee, that is not coming off easily. These are both very tight. This one's coming off okay. The other one side feels like it's going to strip. And I don't think they give us replacements for these in the kit. No, they don't. Okay, so this one I'm going to have to push. Maybe some WD-40 using awesome silicone spray lubricant. See if that helps. Heck. See. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Yeah, I eventually got it out, but that's the difference between the two now. This one does not look great. I'm going to put some Loctite on this one definitely when it goes back in, just to make sure that it's good enough. Okay, so now this means this piece here can come off. It's quite a solid piece of aluminium. I'll put that aside. Okay, so now I should be able to, okay, so now you just got to make sure that the new one goes in exactly that same place over there. So you can see how that slot lines up with the hole there. I'm just going to leave that one there like that for now. So this is the one that will replace it. So I'm just trying to see now. Okay, so it'll be that piece there. Okay. Alright, that looks easy enough. Okay, that's for later. I think the next thing we're going to do is to try and get this wiring harness through all the right places. Okay, so what they want you to do is to feed the cables, the left and right cables, up through this hole where the clutch cable goes through. It's not as hard as I thought it would be. Maybe don't try and do them both at once, just do one at a time. So I have the one side up, which will be, as I say, the left hand one is the shorter cable, so that's the one I've got through so far. So I'll just pull that one a bit further up here and to the left, and then the right hand one I'll feed up through the same place again. It's the right hand side one. Okay, now we have put a bar extension on here, so that might, I don't know if it'll make it more difficult, but anyway. So now I have both of the cables coming out this side, so I think what I need to do is just make absolutely sure that it is the case that you can see the one's shorter than the other one, and I'm assuming that the shorter one goes to the clutch side and the longer one goes to the throttle side. I might be wrong, but let me double check that before I carry on. Okay, it's got nothing to do with one being shorter and longer. There's a more obvious way. You can see there, the one's got 3 pins on and the one's got 2 pins on. The one with 3 pins on needs to go to the clutch side because that's where the switch is. So there's an extra pin for the actual switch. This side doesn't have a switch, so 2 pin. Very logical. Okay, so let's just pull these a little bit further through. Let's pull them through a bit more so we've got more room to move. Okay, the one with the 3 pins, that's the left hand side, so it goes up into the hole in the handlebar. Why does that hole not feel big enough? Okay, there we go. Feeding it through now. Gee, I hope the other one can go in once this one's in. Okay. Can't feel it on the other side yet. Okay. So now we can see it coming through up here, and we can pull it through. Okay. And that's good. So there's a little slot underneath here that it'll go into. Anyway, let's try and do, what we'll try and do now is get the right hand side through the same hole, which is smaller now because the cable for the left hand side's taken up a whole bunch of space. But let's see what we can do. Shove over. Okay, there we go. It looks like it's feeding up now as well. So we've got both these cables feeding through. Okay, so now I should be able to pull the slack back through the clutch cable hole with the wire on it and plug that in here. Which way does it go? Looks like this way. Okay, there it is. So now we've got to, okay, I'm just going to put the other side on as well. Just pulling that wire through and clipping that one in. So now we should be able to pull back so I'm pulling back the cable. Got to pull it as you go. So this is the throttle one. Yep. Just got to make sure this all twists freely. Okay, so the same thing on the left hand side. This side's not going as smoothly as I'd hope. Oh, this is not so easy. I think I might spray some lubricant in there. Okay, let's see if that helps. More. I have no idea why it's sticking. Okay, I finally got it done. So my advice is, as you're sliding it on, stick your finger in and push down on the wire while you're pulling on the other side under the handlebar, and just give it go small sections at a time, and eventually it just, once it gets past this little bit here, it just slides on. Let's just hope that I haven't damaged any wires by pulling too hard, but geez, that was a lot harder than it needed to be. Okay, so I think the next thing I am going to do, I'm not going to tighten anything there yet. I am going to find the route that the cable that I have routed in this cable here. I need to route it around this side and then clip it in to the wiring harness over here that I showed you earlier on. Let me just find the way to get that through. Okay, so the way they want you to do this, so I've basically got the wire coming down here together with a whole bunch of other wires, so I'll cable tie them on there or something. They want you to go through this section here and then to come out here. Just seems a little dumb, and then come back and then plug in there. I don't quite understand it. Anyhow, I'm going to fiddle around and get it through there, coming through here, twisting around back through there, and then I'll clip that one back in there, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got it through there, it's coming out there, this is it here. I can now plug it in here. Okay, I've twisted the cable back in on itself, plugged it in and stuck the cable through the little thing there, so it's all back in its home where it used to be. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do next is actually put the battery back on, and before I put everything back together, just make sure that everything comes on the way it's supposed to when I start the bike. Okay, so I've put the battery back on, started the ignition, and just putting this little switch on, pressing the switch, you can see the LED for the heated grips is lighting up. Now it's orange, yellow, red, orange, yellow, off. Okay, so that's good. It means hopefully that I've connected all the wires up correctly. So all I'll be doing now is, I think I'm going to just use some of these straps to strap the wires on properly. Then I'm going to put the fuel tank back on. Oh, and obviously I've got to put all the surrounds and tighten up around the handlebars and everything. The other thing just to watch out for is obviously, once I've got that on, I'll check to make sure the throttle is not restricted in any way. Okay, I just tied the cable on there with one of those cable straps. I'm not going to really bother with that loop over here. I think it'll be okay. So all I need to do now, I've also put the handlebar back together again. We've got the right amount of play we need here. I've put the end cap on, screwed this in here as well. It's actually in a nice position, and put the end cap on here again as well. So from the handlebar perspective, everything's okay. Next thing I'll do is, I think all I've got to do really is to put the tank and the seat back on, and that's it. So I'll get going with that, and I'll just put the camera here so you can all see how I struggle to, hopefully putting the tank cover back on is as easy as it was to take it off. So we'll see. Okay, this seat's always a bitch to get on. So. Clicked. It's the fastest I've ever got the seat on. Okay. Clean up the blood, sweat and tears. Look at this shirt. Wet. Okay, all good, done and dusted. Thanks for watching everyone. Cheers.